Is my build good or what?
Might be a little too good.
They haven't killed me yet. I'm still 4v1ing them.
You're full mana as well.
They have full mana. Ugh. There would be a way for them to kill me, but I'm not going to tell them how. Okay, I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible. So I'm kind of lazy. I don't feel like editing a video right now. I'm making this build video because it's starting to blow up. People are watching me do it and watching me on stream. A lot of people are inspired, so they're doing it. I'm just putting it out now. That way, the correct information's out there. A lot of people are trying to make versions of my build that are really dog shit. And they're like, oh, it doesn't work. This and that, you know, and also the people will try to claim the build, but I made this shit. It's my invention, made up about 2 weeks ago. Completely broken. I've literally climbed up keys with it. Like, we went up to, what is it? We're at 24, and I didn't even stop because it got hard. I just stopped because everybody went to bed. That was what we got in one shot. We didn't lose a single key. Kind of broken. My gear is absolute dog shit, but I still get like 5k AoE damage as a healer, and my actual healing's like 3k or something. It's plus I have like no gear. Like, I literally don't play 60 content at all, so like this is the epitome of my gear. Like Mythic 10, like just random shit, just like complete garbage. So like even with gear, it's gonna be ridiculous. All right, but let's go into it. I call this, it's two names for it, the Dr. Manhattan build or the IBS build, known as Indestructible or Blooming Shot IBS. And so your 4 starter abilities will be Aspect of Hawk. It's mandatory. Can't remember all 4. Tame Dragonkin is mandatory. That or Tame Elemental and get a Water Elemental that heals. Any heal pet works. And then for your other two, it's kind of up to you. I usually do like Demon, something Armor, I always forget the stupid name of it. Demon Skin, because it gives you increased healing and armor, so you stay alive longer. You can do Auto Shot, but I would not use that in PvE. I'll show you a clip right now.
His persistence is our tank.
Oh my god, bro.
Who did you ninja pull by accident?
Yeah, it's fucking Auto Shot, dude.
Lama.
I gotta roll this shit. It's fucking ridiculous. It has a problem where it will actually shoot, because like when you're bloom spamming, it'll target your immediate enemy no matter what. So it'll like you can be facing sideways and it'll just shoot. It's so annoying. You'll ninja pull so much shit in PvE. So do not grab Auto Shot in PvE. It's only about a 6%, give or take, probably less than that without cards damage. So it's not really worth it anyways. Plus you have to stand still to use it, so it's kind of eh. So usually I do like Arcane Shot, because not only is your synergy rolls higher for improved Arcane Shot, but you're scaling with it anyway, so it's pretty good. It's not mandatory, but it is one of the options. Alternatively, you could take, let's see. You don't need any mana recovery whatsoever, so do not take like Blessing of Wisdom. That's a complete waste of a card. Personally, you could take, you know, if you don't want to take Arcane Shot or Demon Armor. Some alternatives are Hunter's Mark, if you want to kill one person quicker, but I just hate the waste of a GCD in my opinion, but that is one option. Other than that, nothing's really worth it, honestly. No, yeah, at best, the fucking Mark, that's it. Maybe like Blessing of Might or something, but the only problem with the party buffs is like if one person has it, you just wasted a card. So I would never card a buff, because people can just naturally roll that. That's your starter cards. As for your leveling cards up to 60, it's you have 4 mandatories, or actually technically 3 mandatories. Blooming Shot is mandatory. It's your whole fucking build. A Rock Biter, that is mandatory Or you could do Earth Living Weapon. If you want to go a healing approach, you'll do significantly less damage, but you'll do more healing. So if you really don't care about damage, you want to go more of a harder to kill healing build, Earth Living is the way to go. I'll go into more details on that later. But this accounts for like anywhere from half to like 25 to 30% of your attack power. So that's fucking huge. And you want to be dual wielding with it. Don't get a single 2H. Beacon of Light is mandatory. It increases your heal by a ton. That's how I become pretty much immortal. Without Beacon of Light, I really couldn't pull it off, honestly. And that goes back into your Tame Dragon or Tame Elemental. That's why you get those. Not because pets are good or something. It's because, watch this. Not only is your pet, I put my pet on passive, so it always stays with me, so I don't have to worry about it running off or, you know, fighting something. So I disable its attack, only put on heal, and then passive, so it just follows you around. The heal is nice. That is one reason to take a pet, but the real reason is, for example, you beacon yourself. You cannot heal unless you have a target nearby. So if you're out in the open by yourself, you are no longer getting Beacon of Light, so it's now a dead card and you're going to die quicker. However, you have a pet. Pet not only heals you, but now you can Beacon of Light off your own goddamn pet. Kinda broken. So definitely a mandatory card. You cannot live without that. And the other three, however, are interchangeable: Divine Protection, Moonkin Form, and Void Shift. I use Divine Protection because it's one of the best defensives in the game. That way you can just stay longer when you need it, stay alive longer. A Void Shift is like, oh fuck, heal, plus you can card like a teleport with it, which is pretty funny. You could use like Lay on Hand or any sort of like instant cast, oh shit, like party save ability is pretty good. Or you could do like Leap of Faith, or you know, something you can grab somebody or whatever. And then Moonkin Form is a hit or miss. You have to get talent cards and make it as good as it can be, because you should be honestly using the male armor, so the armor bonus isn't that huge for you. You do give your party buff 3% crit, so you don't have a Moonkin, you're giving that to your party. But the real catch is, and talent cards, the real catch is Alkin Frenzy, where you get 10% Arcane in Nature, which is exactly what Blooming Shot is, Arcane in Nature, so that's basically a 20% increase in damage. Not to mention, you get mana back. We don't really need mana, but I guess that's there. And there's also like this too, that gives you a slight spell increase from your spirit, which isn't that good, but it is something. That's why I use Boomkin. You could roll that off. Some suggestions, if you don't want to use these three, are, for example, what's it called? Scream of the Past. It's better than Psychic Scream because that's only 2 enemies. This is unlimited and it does damage. Only trade-off is it's a 5 seconds longer cooldown. That's a good CC. Like, oh fuck, you don't have to cast it or anything. Mass Hysteria, if you don't want to have to get close, it's really good AoE. Crusader's Hammer, good AoE. Stun. Some other alternatives is Absolute Zero, because if somebody's training you as melee, you just cast on yourself and stand in it so that they stand near you. They get frozen, and you can also hug the edge of it and kite them around when they're slowed, so it's a pretty good roll. There's quite a few good rolls, honestly. There's a lot of pretty decent choices, but those would be my top recommendations. Past that, not really worth carding. Nah, I'd leave it at that. Talents, there are so many good choices. Unfortunately, we only have 8 slots, but there are 7 mandatory roles, no matter what you're playing. Unless no, even as a healer, but your absolute mandatories are Grove Ranger, Oath, Nurturing, and Blessing, because these are all your heal scaling right here. You get scaling, and then the buff, which gives hots and like a billion other things, super OP. And then the rest of these are really good. Past that, these 2 are absolutely mandatory as well. This on its own is garbage, but mixed with this makes you literally never run out of mana. 100% mana uptime forever. There's no way you can ever lose mana unless something drains your mana, it's literally the only way you can lose mana in this build. Because every time you shoot Arcane Shot, it's 30% chance to make it cost nothing. And then when that procs, now you shoot again. Now you do more damage for 3 shots, and you restore 3% of your mana. And it's like, it's just a feedback loop. You never run out of mana. It's permanent. It's broken as shit. Literally, you don't need one other source of mana income. Absolutely zero. And this one here is actually your choice. Zealot is what I do because it's damage and healing. If you want to go more of a damage route, you will want to take, I always forget the name of it. Hold on. You'll want to take, where are we at? Stormbringer. That's probably your best single target on proc damage for the build. That'll be your ideal pure damage. Another really good option is the 10%. What is it called? I always forget the name of it. Nature, something like, yeah. Ancestral Healing actually works with this build, so that's a 10% physical reduction on all your heals. On top of this one too, which is a 10% damage taken, so it's a 20% right there off of 2 talents. It's a really good choice too. Other ones you can get is like Immortal, which is AoE slow on your heal, which is good, and AoE damage. Purification of Light, I would say of light. If it wants to show up, that is. It's gaslighting me. It doesn't exist. Just kidding. What the hell? Yeah, what's that shit called then? There it is. Oh, purification by light. Okay. That's one. There's like Harbinger of the Flame. There's Unbound Deathbringer. Of course, you got Spellslinger too, because that actually procs like a killer casting, so that is a synergy roll of kind. I mean, it doesn't actually synergy roll, but it works perfectly with that. There's a whole bunch of good on proc ones. Improved Arcane Shot is mandatory. And then another build I almost forgot to mention. You can actually go a more damage route, is you replace Zealot with Compound Power, and you swap out one of these with Deadly Throw. And every time you Blooming Shot while you're targeting an enemy, you'll get 2 stacks of combo points. So you cast it 3 times, you have max combo points, and you Deadly Throw. And that's a 5-second slow, and it can crit like 600 and take out like 60% of somebody's health. I 5v1 with that. If I can find a clip, I'll show it here now. But completely broken. Next, we go into Mythic enchants, which you want Secret of Forest Riders, Nurturing Instinct again, Improved Arcane Shot, Furious Inspiration, and then you want Primal Arcane Shot. And you might think, oh, why wouldn't you use Wizard? And I'll show you why. Arcane Shots. So that gives you 4% base mana and 23 spell power. You'll think, wow, spell power, that increases my healing. Yes, but the mana is useless. So now half of that roll, or half of that enchant is now useless. Versus Primal, where that heals you. So if you're in a scenario where you're getting hurt, that healing is going to come in handy one way or the other. And then it gives you agility, which that causes a feedback loop. You got agility, so that increases your attack power by 120% of your agility, and healing power by 20% of your agility. And then, agility plays into attack power, and then that goes into agility. So it's a big loop. So you do more damage, you do more healing, you do more crits, because agility is a crit stat. So it's just a big feedback loop. That's why I use that one. And then, of course, Mortal Shots is really good. And then this one, however, Survival Instincts, that's 2% crit. That is interchangeable. You could use, for example, Earth Living. If you're going a healing approach, you could place Blessing of the Internals and replace that with that. If you're going the healing approach with ever Earth Living weapon, that's what I meant by earlier. I'll go into that more. Oops. Earth Living, so you can synergize with that. If you're going a more healer approach, that would be your go-to. And now some pro tips. You'll definitely want a macro for /cast, bracket, add cursor, close bracket, blooming shot. That'll make it so you just go like that every time. You can literally hold the button down. It's another pro tip. Turn on In controls interface, press and hold casting. You can literally just hold the button down. You can just walk around and press the button down. It's the easiest combat you'll ever have in this game ever. I did macro like Spartan Kick and stuff to it. Anything that's off the GCD, like for example, Adrenaline Rush is one. Anything that's off the GCD, just throw it in there so you can be lazy if you want. That we don't have to think about anything. You just spam. So broken. Really must have macro. Some pro tips is even if you're being LOS, you can actually shoot around corners because it is AoE splash. So even if you have a stupid tank that's LOSing you, you can just spam around the corner and then come up and then spam right where he's at. The pros of this class would be infinite mana, no casting ever, decent damage, good healing. It's like permanent AoE healing too. It has healing reduction from your piercing shot, which is huge, and it's about 11% of your damage is top of that. It's ranged, so you don't have to worry about, like Dark Surge and getting up close and stabbing them. And quite frankly, it's unkillable. It's the only thing that can kill you, which is the weaknesses. You cannot be interrupted or silenced. It's impossible. But you can be disarmed. So if somebody runs up and disarms you, you'll be screwed. Except if you have, for example, Pursuit of Justice, reduce, disarm by 30%. Stuff like that will help a little bit, but it's only if you're going to PvE route and very occasionally on PvE. Another weakness is technically CCs are weaker on this healer than others because if you CC me, for example, say I get hit by a 3-second CC, it's gonna pop right back up. Boom, I see like my stun ends. Boom. Oh, now I got Nature's Power back. I heal 100%. So the whole time you did that, basically for nothing. But yeah, that's the weakness is a lot of heal reduction. That's the way you kill this build is heal reduction, disarm, and stuns. That's basically, they can't really do shit about it unless they have like breakout of stuns or like damage reduction, like proactive damage reduction and stuff like that. Another weakness is mana burn and also mana drain because our heal or mana income is pretty limited, especially if you don't have Moonkin form. So like it's infinite, but it's infinite to the point of you casting this. If it starts, if you start getting drained, then obviously you catching back up to that is going to be really rough. But it is possible. But if they give you a 0, you're going to be screwed, basically. Oh, and I forgot one other thing. There is one more weakness to a Grove Ranger. A competent Grove Ranger would pay attention, but if they're new, one weakness to them is actually killing their pets because if their pets are dead, you cannot synergy heal off your Beacon of Light, so now your healing is cut pretty badly. Granted, I said all you had to do to keep pet alive is beacon your own pet and then beacon heal your pet. So they're not going to really kill it, but they're not paying attention. You kill it, now they have to sit there and revive it, and they can't beacon heal themselves off of it. So that is one weakness I never disclosed, but now the video's out, I might as well disclose it. And then for gear, I do have double Arena Master. You can just use... just do that, damn it. You can just use the... As soon as I find it... Eye of the Beast works perfectly fine. You won't have any problem with it. The extra stamina is nice, but it's not mandatory because if they can't kill you anyways, what's the point of the extra stamina? Which brings me to my other point. Double agility plus stat and agility. I don't use any stamina shit because, apart from the bracers, because they can't kill me anyways, so why do I need more health that they can't even get down? So I might as well do more agility, which is more crit, more damage, more healing. Vicious cycle this build is. Do full Herod set, Ring of the Lionhearted, dual McGowan maces with spell power. Of course, enchant is really expensive, but if you can get it, it is worth it because it's so broken. I do use the 2 damage scope because that's available at level 10. You can use whatever scope you want, whatever is more important to you. I do the 2 because you can use it ASAP. And then you want the adventure mode necklace heirloom, which is the strongest. And that's basically it for this build. Kind of broken, unkillable. I call it the IBS build. Totally not irritable at bowel syndrome, but actually the Immortal blooming shot. Or just Dr. Manhattan build. Literally fucking indestructible. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention 2 more things. In terms of the stat priority for this guild, haste and hit rate are 100% useless. You have no use for them at all. What you're looking for is agility, attack power, and crit. That's literally it. And then another thing, you have to go in your settings or get an add-on and turn on nameplates, because this healing, you do not use raid frames for healing. You use nameplates because you have to aim where you're healing, unfortunately. So it's a little tough. You could use stacking to make it a little bit easier. I think they changed up the settings recently. I don't like the new nameplates. They're a little too hard to see sometimes. The really classic ones are really big. It only sucks when you're in a capital city because of this reason. But it is mandatory you have nameplates on, or else you have no idea who you're going to be healing. So just thought I'd mention those as well. Or this 3v1 anyways. Woo! Just really worry about me, buddy. One down. Two down. Oh, somebody else is here now. Apply that. Centered. Boom. Dead. And dead. How are we not 5 capping that?